Hello there, this is Big Benedict. We're playing Devil May Cry 4 Special Edition on Dante Must Die difficulty. This is mission 16 of 20, and I was just going to try to announce what title it is, but obviously this game doesn't do that, but it's okay. With this character, it's a bit more manageable with these... what are these called? These shark-like creatures here. I think they're the cutlasses, aren't they? If not, you'll have to pardon me. But the round trip works very well on these guys, as does the electrified bullet rounds with the devil trigger plus the gun. And it's really nice though, because her jump is incredibly powerful. You know, not just to get away from enemies, to flee, to double jump, but it is an attack. So we're going to have to be dealing with a couple of these guys. Fortunately, the board in the next room, the game board, is not something we need to participate in, but something that we will in several chapters from now have to deal with again, but not as this character, sadly. So I was not ruining this. I was not saying anything bad in my mind when I was playing this, because this character is very fast and competent. Like when you try to hit those things, like when you get them surfaced and you're trying to hit them with the bayonet of ladies, it just feels so like it's worse than it even looks. It's sluggish. You know, you wouldn't think that it could be even worse than it actually looks, but it's pretty damn bad, ladies' bayonet swing. But I realized why they retained it, because it's the same way she swung it in the third game. But these guys are actually a pleasure to fight. You wouldn't think so, but when you're jumping around, you can actually deal damage to them just by jumping. And it's sort of a counterattack, and it makes you feel empowered. And you don't even, it's not even anything you're doing necessarily, which is to say that it's not very skillful. It's just that when you jump, you have so many hitboxes with that, particularly on these enemies here, which get stunned with anything. So it's definitely not my favorite fight, but like I had very few issues here. Now using the charge shot with, well, there's no charge shot, but using the gun, it's fine to do it. There's nothing wrong with it. You see me do it several times during this fight, but it's just kind of a waste, in my opinion, because just jumping around and using that circular attack that she has, it's just a lot better. But certainly, if you want to do some damage to them, it's not that bad. I mean, you might even want to try it. But I'm just trying to think about these next rooms that are coming up and any recommendations I would have for use of the devil trigger. But this room, you'll have more cutlasses. I realized I called the sharks cutlasses earlier, but I don't know what the hell they're called. So we're gonna have some more of the flying swords here, some more of these guys, and you know the drill. Just keep the camera. You can now manipulate this room quite a lot better than you could before with Lady. And I don't think I've mentioned, did I mention it? Like, the reason why you can't use grip points, the grim grip points, is because she has no buster. She has nothing. She's the same as Dante. As, you know, insofar as they do not have buster attacks, so you cannot latch onto anybody and draw yourself to them. And that makes for some pretty aggravating moments with her, because this is a game that was made for Nero, and they're just basically inserting these characters in here. And in my opinion, they did a pretty good job, especially with these new characters. So this is a particularly long chapter. Most of this was completed in one take. I think there's just like 4 or 5 clips pieced together for this particular video. And this just works really well. So we're going to clear this room and then move on out to the next area. A few chapters back, when I was mentioning that IT guy that I had to contact, the guy that I called a dickhead among other lovely expletives, I was listening back to it, and I maybe didn't explain what happened when I said that I got on the internet 10 minutes later. It's just because I suspected that it was a driver's issue that was preventing me from going online once I had reinstalled Windows 7. But I called anyway, just in case it was some kind of a connection issue with the router and the modem. And the guy just essentially told me that I was screwed. And like, when you say that to somebody, like, how the fuck do you think the guy's gonna feel? Like, I felt rotten after that, because this guy, he knows all this stuff about computers, and he's telling me I'm screwed. Am I gonna have to buy a new computer? Am I gonna have to take my computer to a technician, like he said? Like, you just don't fucking say that to somebody, you fucking dickhead. Look at me, I'm calling him a dickhead again. You just don't say that, though. But these people over there sitting in their ivory towers on their gold thrones, thinking they're so privileged to be at these jobs. He had to have known it was a driver's issue. But they don't like to share that knowledge, because they just want their commitment to end and not have any more involvement with you as a caller. So anyway, after I hung up on him, I don't mean that as badly as I sound, though. I didn't hang up the phone. I think I will call him back, though. If I have to go downtown to make a payment for the internet, I might just look him up and ask him why the fuck he said that. And but anyway, after I hung up on him, I just went to what did I do? I obviously I couldn't go on the internet, so I went onto the laptop, which, see, the laptop and our phones were being able to connect to the Wi-Fi, but just not my computer. So I downloaded the drivers from Dell's website on the laptop, brought the iOS back to my CD-ROM drive, put it in, installed the drivers, and it worked immediately. And I was on there. And I was just laughing my ass off and just saying, this motherfucker, I'm screwed. And yet I got on the internet 10 minutes later. I actually did call back, but they had closed for the day. And it was weird because it was only like 4:30. But they just love to say, like, everything's fine on our end. They just love pushing all the blame onto you. Like, if your computer expires, well, the expiration's null and void. Your expiration date expired, so it's off our hands. Whatever happened to chivalry and helping people out? Or at least, not saying something like, you're fucking screwed, man. And it was probably, I was going to say, well, it was probably the camaraderie that we had as men talking to one another, but no real good rapport had been built up between us, Like, we hadn't even exchanged any kind of good banter or anything like that. He was just snide and snotty, and I come across a lot of those people, but just, you know, sometimes these, like, just one person will do it for you. You know, you let other people off, but some things, they just don't fly. And if there are any other dealings with that motherfucker, I'll let you know. You know, it just pisses me off, like the level of snottiness and just an unwillingness to help, and to kind of take pleasure. Like, he was almost delighting in my misfortune at that point, man. I don't know. He's on my fucking shit list, though. That's all I know. Goddamn motherfucker is what he is. He's a fucking piece of shit. And I think that's descriptive of all those people over there. You know, you pay them so much fucking money and they treat you like dog shit. Well, guess what? You might not get any more money from us, you sons of fucking whores. Ugly fucking whores. Man, this commentary is just so great, isn't it? Anyway, so I think these are basilisks. Son of Seville was telling me that he was struggling on these things. I hope your struggles are no longer, sir. But I don't think they're going to be helped by watching my video, because I don't have many good tactics to deal with these guys. So it's pretty much a dog shitting fest out here. I mean, what else can I say? Is it possible to aim that thing? I'm asking myself. It looked like I was aiming it, but I think it was automatically doing so to compensate for the enemy's movements. I don't think you have any real control over that. Damn, look at my HP here. But the thing about this internet company in our area is they have the monopoly. They have pretty good service. In fact, they're better than AT&T. But they're hokey. You know, they've got like 2, maybe 3 people doing the internet department. So I'm screwed, and yet I got on 10 minutes later, you fucking dickhead. I just don't like people telling me that. It's not just that, too. It was just the lack of sympathy as well. So, anyway, as you may notice, I'm not participating in any of the secret missions either. I'm kind of curious to know if anybody knows how well those translate with these new characters. Are the secret missions, are they even easier? Or, I mean, some of them are really difficult, but are they harder than they were before? Are they the same? Or I'm sure there's some that are, you know, some that are harder, some that are actually easier. Anyway, I think I fled from these dogs last time. That's why I'm fighting them. And looky here. Batter up. Shitty dog. I love that. It's just so cool. So cool. It's just fun and irreverent. At a place. And yet not at a place, because look at that fucking sword. It's huge. So, burial is almost upon us, you guys. And what do you need to know for that fight? Well, just as we did with Virgil, you're going to want to do the lunar phase equivalent, which is just a jumping right bumper forward Y attack, or B, just depending on your scheme. And the thing is, you're usually hovering over, like when you're doing your spins in the air, you're usually exempt from getting hit with his sword because you're hovering over the area where it hits. I mean, just check this out. So he doesn't hit you. The only thing is, though, landing like that, if you think he's going to do the burst, you need to get the hell out of the way. Other than that, though, double trigger is accumulated very quickly when you're doing that lunar phase-esque move, and then you can use that double trigger to do the Bandora laser attack. And I would try to do the jumping one and try to hit him directly in the face, and hit him especially like when he's in these phases here. And look at that. That was pretty bad. So he doesn't always hit with the sword when you're evading those columns of fire, but sometimes he does. So it's not enough that you're just evading. You're gonna have to do another flip to get out of the way of that. There we go. Hit him right in the face. Just watch all that HP drain. If we can hit him a couple more times in this phase, he'll fall over, which he just did. We're going to finish him off. And I don't want to say it, but he's screwed. Take care.